Hello and welcome. My name is Reese Peterson, and today I will be discussing the Great Depression. There are three main ideas I'd like to discuss. The first being what started the Great Depression. The second being ways families were able to save money during the Great Depression. And the third being how the U.S. got out of the Great Depression. So, what exactly was the Great Depression? From 1929 to 1939, there was an economic fallout within the United States of America. It was caused by an extreme interest by citizens to invest in the stock market. In order to obtain finances to invest in the stock market, civilians had to take out loans from banks. They would then invest the money into small companies, hoping that they would break big and get the big money in the stock market. Citizens would take out loans, and the banks would give them out. Unfortunately, the banks started giving out more money than they were receiving. This resulted in banks not even being able to operate and banks being closed. People now had no way to get loans, save money, or open up new bank accounts. Secure jobs became very difficult to find as people needed new financial stability. Families had to sell belongings such as jewelry, vehicles, and other expensive assets. Not to mention the Dust Bowl had also begun. The Dust Bowl was a series of events where there was improper care for agricultural business. Topsoil was left exposed and dust began to blow all around the Midwest. This eliminated even more jobs as the agricultural business was now almost non-existent. All these factors led to the worst economic fallout in U.S. history. With the economic fallout now happening, families had to find new ways to provide for their family by saving money. The first example I have today is the single pot. This pot would be used to do all the cooking in the house. Every meal was made inside this pot. Things ranged from mac and cheese to chili to stews and even soups. Stews were often made out of leftovers from prior meals that were just thrown into the pot with some water and they hoped they tasted good. My next item is a basic t-shirt. T-shirts served their original purpose originally. They would be worn until they were no longer presentable to the public. They would then, after they obtained holes or some sort of damage, they would then be turned into pillowcases for another use. And then when they run their course as a pillowcase, they would become washcloths and towels in the kitchen. Finally, I have an empty jewelry box. As I said earlier, families would often, early in the Depression, sold off their assets, such as vehicles and jewelry, in order to get a little extra cash flow. Along with these money-saving methods, families also started gardens. Produce was very valuable during the Great Depression. Not only would you be able to eat the produce for supper or lunch, you could also trade the produce in some sort of trade to obtain new things, or you could sell it to the local market for a very low price. They also took on separate mentalities during the Great Depression. They decided to fix things instead of replace them. If their heating system broke, they would minimally fix it so it could last through the Depression, and then they could get money to fix it fully. They didn't pay for anything they could do themselves. For example, if they broke a window, they would not call a place to fix the window. They would do it themselves. And finally, in order to save money, they would dress in layers inside their house to avoid heating costs and other utilities. Eventually, the United States would get out of the Great Depression. With the great leadership of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the government was able to develop multiple organizations to help save the bank and the agricultural businesses. These organizations would eventually lift the United States out of the Great Depression back to a successful country. After the Great Depression, the country would begin to gain momentum as it would then grow into what it is today. During this speech, I discussed three main topics. What started the Great Depression? Secondly, I discussed the ways families save money. And finally, I discussed how the United States got out of the Depression. Hopefully something like the Great Depression never happens again. The closest we've ever come to the Great Depression was the 2008 financial crisis. We can only hope that we never have to experience something like the Great Depression again.